Well, guess what I don't have pulled up is the blurb.
No, I didn't even type the blurb out.
This is well, hello.
Oh, do you mean the intro?
The
Like,
intro, not the
oh,
oh no, I'm not no.
I thought you meant the episode blurb. I was like,
No, no,
I
no,
didn't
no, no, no.
type it up. This is Bingu Choom and K-pop tunes, and I'm Reina, also known as Choom.
And I am Bingu, also known as Lacey.
We did that opposite. And today we're gonna have another fun episode. We're gonna talk about SM's new girl group, Aespa, I think is how you say it, and also we're gonna touch on the fact that second and third generation idols are just like coming out of the woodwork lately.
You would know. I would not.
You haven't seen me yelling on Twitter?
Well, it just seems like I just feel like you've just known them longer. So I'm just like, oh, they've been out for like ever.
Wait, you mean the new girl group or the second and third generation idols? Wow, just generation.
I know the ones you talk about sometimes they're younger. So I'm like, oh, this is like something different.
No, I've been yelling about like CNBLUE, BTOB, like idols that you know, Lacey.
Well, whenever I come on here on Twitter, that's not what I see.
Twitter, fix your timeline.
I follow a lot of people. So,
Well, then just make an account to follow me. Make a Stan account for just me.
wow.
Okay, before we get started, this is a reminder.
You are so bold. I've never heard you say that. Okay, I'm just gonna go on our account and just look for your tweets. I'll read through them every day.
This is a reminder to everyone, despite me saying that, we're not experts or professionals on the topics discussed. If there's any information through our research that's presented incorrectly, out of date, or what is it? Incorrectly or out of date, please let us know.
Incorrectly. Just
Just
incorrectly.
incorrect in general. We're just two fans sharing our personal opinions while trying to be informative and are here to have fun.
Yeah. So we don't think this is I don't well, at least I don't think it's going to be a super long episode of what we're talking about today.
I don't either for either of the topics. I decided to squeeze in the second topic just as a kind of filler because I didn't think the first topic was going to be super long.
Mhm.
But I'm curious about it. I actually watched their music video. When I texted you, we should talk about them. They hadn't debuted, and I didn't remember when their debut was, but apparently it was yesterday.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I just woke up today and I saw the music video and I was like, oh, they debuted now officially.
Wow. Well, I guess we can tell people like who is this group? Who is what is it? How do you Espa?
Aespa, I believe is how you say it, because I think that's what I heard in the music video. I only watched the music video once though, which is kind of unheard of for me. I usually watch things a couple of times, but I didn't have time. So
This is a judgment-free zone. I haven't watched it at all, so you're
that's
ahead.
okay. I mean, I didn't tell you that it came out. I woke up today and I was like, oh, it's out. Interesting.
I guess I'm surprised because they posted that teaser on their Instagram and it seemed like, oh, there was gonna be like more teasers. Maybe I'm tripping.
No, because those teasers, when I gave you their Instagram, those teasers have been coming out for like 2 weeks at that point.
Okay, well,
So I probably just confused you. But for those of you who don't know, probably like Lacey, Aespa is SM Entertainment's newest girl group. It is comprised of 4 members. I believe they're all in their teens, like anywhere from 16 to 19, maybe 20. I didn't really look up all of them. I know a couple of their names are like Giselle, Ning Ning, and then I don't know the other two. So that was exactly a couple.
so we can just go through. I've been looking at their little teasers, each one. There's Winter, there's Giselle, like you said,
Ning Ning is one.
Ning Ning, and then Karina.
their concept, SM's been, they kind of made it sound like that they were doing this like concept as a project that's been like lifelong sort of thing. So it started with EXO and their superpowers multiverse concept that was introduced, how they came from like different planets with different powers, and then went into NCT with their Neo City concept. So like they're futuristic, they're in this
Mm-hmm.
city, I guess. I don't know really what theirs was or how to explain it correctly, but it was Neo City. This is supposed to be an AI concept. So these girls, it's a four-member girl group, and they all have artificial intelligence counterparts. So they have like avatar counterparts, all four of them, which is kind of cool in theory if you think about, like, for example,
Mm-hmm.
Riot Games and League of Legends has their girl group that they created, their K-pop girl group that created off of characters from the game League of Legends. But those are not real people, and so the catch with this group Aespa is these avatars are the girls in AI form. And so it's been not settling well with a lot of people because the girls are all pretty much underage. The avatars look much older, much more mature, have a lot shorter clothes. Just the concept is really weird. And
Mm-hmm.
SM was marketing it as like these avatars, while the girls can't be present 24/7 for fans, these avatars will be. And that just has been worrying a lot of people because it's like, that's going to create some really weird and entitled fans.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else we want to say about this group before we get into our own opinions or like what other people are saying?
Not really. Like, that's just really a lot of what people are saying. Their music video just dropped, so I haven't heard too much about it. I listened to it. It was very generic. The music video was like bright and pretty and very aesthetically pleasing to look at. Like, it was just a cool futuristic kind of poppy video, vibrant video. But the song was just a very generic, like, for a debut,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't really feel very SM to me. Like Red Velvet, Shiny, EXO, even NCT all have their specific vibe and like flavor to their music, and I didn't really feel that with them. Most of what a lot of people have been saying are just like they're concerned about the AI, just because the way SM is marketing it, they're worried that it's going to bring fans that are like entitled, or because they're underage and the AIs are marketed kind of like sexy, they're worried it's gonna bring in like perverted men.
Well, I can say that none of these girls are 16.
Are they not? I didn't actually look up their age. I know they're not.
I did. So the youngest is actually 18
Oh, okay.
and one member is 19. So Ningning is 18, Winter is 19, Giselle is 20, and Karina is 20. So they're not, to me, they're still
Yeah,
babies,
they're
but they're not,
still young.
but they're not like 16 or 15. Like if they were that age, that's when I'd be like, what the heck is going on? And my first reaction towards this is that I was like, this is really different. And it's not in a bad sense because you mentioned the League of Legends group. There are actually influencers that are AIs.
Yeah, there are.
And they look,
There's like a brother and sister, and they look like real people.
yes, and they're not the only ones. It's like a bunch of AIs, and it's really weird because they look so realistic. And the AIs are, depending on, I can't remember even which one it was, but some of them have like friend groups, and that friend group are all AIs, and they like comment on things. It's very odd. I don't really know how I feel about that in a sense of being an influencer, but I also get it, but I don't agree with it. However, this one is, I feel like, is just, if I were to act like I was 18, even now, I just think this is just a really different concept. And
It's different, and I appreciate it from SM. I feel like it would have been better to go the route of like the cartoon version of them, the AI version, are like for other members of the group instead of it being based on
yeah,
them.
so what I felt like when I was watching all these and just thinking about, I guess, the concept of this, about how they have their own I don't really see the point of this because the AI alternative is really cool, but I don't see this being so different that people are going to rely more on like the AIs than they are on the actual people. And you said that like the music video or the song was really generic, but I think that's just because of their budget. Because if they're
Yeah.
working with AIs, that's a lot of money.
Thing too that really was interesting is watching the music video with how much they focused teaser wise and like discussing the concept itself of the AIs. Only
Hmm.
two of the AIs appeared for very brief seconds in the music video, and I really expected him to be like an even split sort of thing, but it
Hmm.
wasn't at all. And so when I watched the music video, I was like, so what the heck did they introduce AI versions of them for? Why did they make the AI such a like focus point of this concept? Because they weren't even in the music video.
They probably are realizing it's a lot more than that. Because how long did it really take for the League of Legends to come out with their music videos? You barely see them because it's
Yeah.
so rare for it to
And
come
I think
out.
between the first music video that they released for these characters for League of Legends
Hmm.
versus this most recent comeback that they just had in November, it was 2 years, I think.
Yeah, so I just really doubt it takes I really doubt it takes like a few months to make a full music video of AIs. It's just I'm comparing it to any animated movie like Pixar or Disney. Like that takes time. So for just two of them to pop up, I'm not gonna really. It's like disappointing, but SM is known for being very fast with their outputs.
True.
And if they didn't meet the deadline, they didn't meet the deadline. Because even with these teasers that they're promoting on their Instagram, you can see how the concept changes between each introduction of the member. And it's weird. It's not weird. I won't say that. I won't be like that nitpicky. It's just very noticeable. Like with, who was that? With Karina, her concept for her teaser was just very accurate of what they're trying to show what this is like what this is. And the same with Ning Ning, her teaser was kind of similar. I didn't really get that with Giselle. Giselle was like rapping the entire time. You barely saw the AI. She only popped up like twice. And there wasn't like an introduction of, oh, this is my AI, like me meeting my AI. This is who we are. And the same goes for, like, Winter didn't even have that
Yeah.
on the Instagram. I just think that's a weird way to promote stuff. Like how it just seems like they come to a meeting and they're just like, let's keep
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like it's cohesive in that sense. But when I thought it was cool, and then how you mentioned that people are worried about them being so young and then like they have their AI. If I am being completely honest, I just don't think it's that over sexualized.
Yeah. I think a lot of the issue with that specific portion of it is people are worried because SM was saying that the AI are going to be like available 24/7. I don't know how they're going
Mm,
to do that. Like, are they going to make a Weverse sort of thing? But I think a lot of people's worry with that was that by stating like these AIs are going to be available 24/7, it's just going to add fuel to this saucing issue
mm.
and make fans just feel really entitled and just kind of add to like the possibility of there being stalkers and fans that are like, no, you said they were marketed to be here available 24/7, like why don't I have access to them?
I can see that in a sense of like, well, Giselle said we were best friends, so we're best friends.
Yeah.
And if AI Giselle said it, then real Giselle definitely means it. I can see it in that sense.
Yeah.
It's really just having to see how this plays out. The AIs do have more of a figure, but their outfits don't.
Match the rest of the concept for the girls.
They just look older. Like the AIs don't. They just look older and they don't really match the actual person.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm kind of on the fence about it. Like, I want to give the girls a chance because they just debuted. Obviously, they've been working years for this. But the fact that SM was like, these are their alter egos, like these are them in AI form, and they don't look anything like the girls. And then for them to be so young and like to have figures like that, a lot of people were complaining too about like, well, that's just insane body proportion standards to pressure these girls into. Like, what if they get self-conscious and look at the AI and they're just like, I'm not them, because people like the AI better. But I think that's why I personally was mentioning earlier, I think it would have been better to make it like an quote 8-member group and have the 4 real people and then have the 4 AI people,
Hmm. That would have been better.
because they don't look like the girls at all. And I feel like the concepts and like the feel that the AI girls give off versus the real girls give off are just completely different from each other. And so
Hmm.
I think it would have been maybe cooler to do the 4 real girls, 4 AI girls, but they're all the same group, Aespa.
Hmm.
Especially looking at, for example, like Riot's KDA. I like KDA, like I listen to them. I also play the game, but those aren't real people at all. So there's no backlash on that because they're not real people at all, and so that doesn't feel as awkward of a concept to me because they're just video game characters that Riot was like, we're gonna make music for them and give them like a whole other background and storyline.
I just feel like I'm more on the fence about them looking more provocative than what people think. Because, like, I get, like, they have more womanly figures, the AIs do. But I don't really, like, when it comes to the outfits that both of them are wearing, I feel like they're
Generic
just,
K-pop outfits, honestly.
like, yeah, like, they're flashy K-pop outfits. Skirts are always short. It just, it's all sparkle and fun. It's to get your attention. And when it comes to the actual girls, it just looks it just looks normal to me. And even with their promos, like they weren't accentuating the AI's figures or anything. At least not so far. They do show cleavage for the AIs, and I'm just kind of
Yeah.
like, that's kind of weird. It's not really needed. Like if you're gonna do these cuts, like I think they're doing it because that's just a proportion of that body figure that they made.
Yeah.
And I don't know, until like the AIs just start sliding down poles or something, or just something just very alarming to me. I don't like I see why people are worried. I just think to give the group a little bit of a chance.
Yeah, a chance.
Like don't put those
I don't think people aren't going to give them a chance. I think they're just weirded out by the concept itself because of like
it's so
this.
different.
But like I said, I personally I just think SM should have made it 4 girls and then 4 AIs.
And it could be because they're just trying to do it first.
Yeah.
Like because of everything that's happening with AIs in general, they just feel like there's a market for that.
Yeah. I think that was one thing though that just really tripped people up with these girls in this group debuting. Just like going through Twitter and seeing what some of my mutuals and everybody are saying about it too, was the fact that
Hmm.
the AIs are the girls. That to them is weird.
I can tell you right now, I like the girls more than the AIs. I'm just like, these girls are so cute, and the concept or like the teasers that they have are so cool.
I will admit, the AI with the short hair though, I like her. She's cute. Her like art for the
Hmm.
teaser that was posted just before their debut, where it was just the AIs, her art was cute. Her expression was cute, and I was like, huh. I think you're the only one that I actually paid attention to.
Oh, they're all super cute. Like the AIs are cute, okay? Like you can't go wrong with. Oh yeah, the one with the short hair. She has some spunk. I see it. Homegirl with the purple hair. Who is that? Who I just watched your teaser.
Karina.
Yeah, Karina. Karina's so cool. She looks so cool and looks like she goes hard, but she's really sweet. Like that teaser, she was just super sweet. And then I watched her interview with her with both of them,
Yeah,
like the AI and the real girl.
yeah,
It was very what took me out of it was just like her voice, the AI's voice. It was very AI.
yeah. I think they could have done that a little bit better because, for example, with KDA, League actually found like real people to
That's
voice
my
them.
thing. It's just like if you're doing this, if they're just the same person, why not use the same voice?
Yeah, why didn't they use their voices?
That's it's weird. Like it's not I'm going to stop saying weird. It reminded me of, which is not bad. It's not bad when I say this. Vocaloids. Cuz I was that girl. I still love them. I still listen to the music. But that's just what, if anything, if people are getting attached to the Android or the AI, it's because it's just, at least the voices are different. They're two completely different people. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And they even look like two different people.
But SM is marketing them as the same
It's not
person,
gonna
so, like,
work.
if
They just look
at least
different.
yeah, no, at least if they were gonna make the AIs look different, like, okay, I get that, maybe this is how they visualize themselves, whatever, but why aren't their voices the same? I that
Yeah.
one, I'm on the same page with you on that one. The voice really tripped me up.
Because even with me knowing that this was their concept, it doesn't resonate with me that way. I still see it as a 8 member group.
Yeah, and that I think that's what they should have, like, explained it as to begin with. That's
It would have been really cool,
It would've. Because I don't know, it makes the concept more interesting, I guess?
especially if you're gonna have interviews with them. Like
Yeah,
you're interviewing one person.
and with, like, COVID right now, that would've been such a cool concept too, to have the AIs available online, because I know League has posted Riot has posted videos of, like, the members of KDA doing, like, interviews and doing, like, voice calls and that sort of thing,
Mm,
so it would've been so cool with COVID going on right now.
I just really feel like they just don't have a big enough team for that stuff. I just don't think they do.
I know. And it's SM. I personally am of the opinion of they don't know what they're doing with NCT still, even though they were like, "Oh, this is the concept, the Neo City concept." I still don't think they have any freaking clue what they're doing with NCT. And so now I'm like looking at this, and like for EXO too, most recently we've seen any mention of EXO's superpowers again was in Super M. Why? Or they dropped that portion of EXO a long time ago. Like there's no mention of it forever. And so like with this, I'm just like, well, how long is this gonna stick around?
So stupid.
How or how large of a focus is it gonna be, I guess is the better.
Well, it's gonna have to actually stick because they make it sound like it's the main thing.
They do, but like you said, budget, their team I don't think is big enough. Apparently the management team that came up with this Aespa as a concept too, reportedly from what I read online, is the same management team that did Red Velvet, like pitched Red Velvet.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of I don't know. It's like more of a how long is it not a how long is it gonna stick around, but more of a like how big of a focus is it going to be? They'll probably mention the AI, but how like active is that portion of this going to be?
Hmm. And if the girls are that busy, like, are they busy with their regular life, or do you mean they're busy with like promo? I don't really understand. I don't get it. Because if it's like they're so busy
Yeah.
living their regular lives that we're only gonna do an album every few years with an awesome music video,
Next
it just
last
doesn't
thing.
really, I don't know. Like, I see what you guys are trying to do. It's just gonna take a lot more effort. And if you're gonna show like two cuts of two AIs in a music video and not even the whole crew, what are you doing? Like, what's just extend the deadlines then if it's just you couldn't meet the deadline. But it's not my company, it's not my group.
True. I'm curious to see where it goes though, and like I said, I want to give them a chance. The music video was a little bit, and the song were a little bit generic for my taste. It didn't really have that SM like flair, but I'm curious to see where it goes and what happens. And like we were saying, the AI, the art, the girls look really cute.
Yeah, I we'll see.
So
I'm not gonna like I have no idea. Just
commit
no,
time to
I'm
them.
not.
I won't.
I'm
I'm not gonna commit time to them, but it'll probably be like, oh, Espa's having a comeback. Okay, let's watch, see what's new. But I'm probably not
mhm.
gonna like commit myself to seeking them out and searching
Right.
them.
Well, I guess let us know what you guys think if you think like, am I wrong? Or are we right? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Lay it out.
Let us know what specific worries you had with this group, or if you had any worries at all,
Yeah,
what you thought
like
of the concept.
do you think people are tripping or did they have a right to be or like yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ready for part two? Because I still can't believe you didn't see me yelling.
I only saw it like once and I was going to sleep
Okay, well,
because you were tweeting. It was very late my time, okay?
it was 2 or 3 weeks ago now. YG Entertainment confirmed that G Dragon is preparing for a comeback, a solo,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
which I
saw
find
that.
very curious because we haven't heard any of his solo stuff even before he went into the army. So I'm like really like what the heck is he gonna sound like? Do I even want new music from like him solo? Like what is this gonna be? I don't mean it like that. Like I still like G Dragon, but he had such a specific and distinct style.
Yeah, like is it still gonna stick?
Yeah, is it still gonna stick? Because that's not his style is not what like it influenced a lot of K-pop, but ever since him and Big Bang went to the army, it's kind of
Hmm.
not gone in that direction anymore. So I'm kind of wondering, like, is he gonna come back with a different style? Is he gonna go with a more mainstream style? Is it gonna influence the younger groups again? Like, what is gonna happen? Because he's G
I
Dragon.
I am very curious too. I don't know. It's just a very high bar to reach
It is.
because you're just that big of an idol.
Yeah, like he's the expectations for him are already so high, and so I
Hmm.
and he's a perfectionist anyway on top of it, so it's kind of curious to see how this will go and how it's going to, because he's G Dragon and everybody knows Big Bang. Maybe not fan wise, but everyone in the K-pop industry who is actually an idol knows Big
Oh
Bang.
yeah.
I I'm wondering if it's gonna influence like newer idols. Are they gonna try and mimic his sound or go for like that style? Like what's gonna happen?
There's just a lot of possibilities right now for me to not answer. I'm just
Yeah,
I think I'm
it's really up
more
in the
I'm excited. I'm just very excited for him.
I am too. It'll be nice to have all of them slowly like coming back. But I just G Dragon. We haven't heard any of his solo stuff, and I know his last like
Hmm.
album I wasn't super fan of.
What? Wait.
Because which one was it that I know I liked like Crayon and then One of a Kind.
Coupe d'etat? You didn't like that?
I liked some of the songs on it, but not all of them. And I
Oh,
remember what was the title song on that?
who you or crooked?
Yeah, I listened to it once and then I was like, okay.
What?
Yeah.
I really liked this album. It was so good.
I liked a lot of the songs on the album, like the B sides, which is just really common for me. But like, I don't know, Coupe de Tot, I was just kind of eh. And then Crooked, I think Crooked I liked a little bit more, but I remember it not being my utmost favorite from him.
Wow.
So that's another reason I'm kind of like, what's gonna happen with this comeback?
I haven't listened to this in a long time, but I can I can see one, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, I liked like more than half the album.
Hmm, interesting.
It was just really different. And he featured people I really liked.
Yeah,
Like
that's
Missy Elliott was on there. I didn't really care for that song. I never care for songs where like you got somebody from America on there.
yeah.
I get it, but whatever. It's not gonna work. But I like
No, that was a song too, especially Big Bang had a more hip hop feel too in that era of K-pop that they came out of, was really big on the hip hop
that.
sound
Hmm.
and R&B sound, and K-pop's kind of gone towards like an EDM lately.
Yeah,
And so
that's why I have not been into it.
well, that's why I'm curious like what is him coming back going to do to K-pop as a whole, and how is it going to influence it? But
Hmm.
also after G Dragon announced, or like YG confirmed that G Dragon was going to have a comeback at some point and was working on solo work, a bunch of other groups from like second and third generation just started announcing comebacks. So CNBLUE had a comeback, and then B2B had like an unofficial comeback. It wasn't all of them, which I thought it was, and I got really excited. It ended up being the Hyung line, so it was like Peniel, Minhyuk. I don't remember who else was part of the Hyung line, but it was like they debuted as a subunit, so B2B for you.
Hmm. I saw Joan post about it. I don't follow a lot of idols because I just don't want that all on my Instagram feed all the time. But Peniel would pop up in Joan's vlogs a lot, and then when she was talking about him on her IG, I was like, oh my god, like y'all are still out here making music.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually opened YouTube earlier today and one of Joan's vlogs popped up and it was her and Peniel getting a manicure.
Because before her and Christian did it,
Oh,
and I guess she's just trying to make it
a
a
thing of like
thing. She's
everybody.
trying to get all her guy friends to get a manicure because Christian's never gotten one, and I'm wondering if Peniel has,
Huh,
which I'm sure.
I didn't watch it, but now I wonder.
I wonder if he's gotten his nails done like that before. But Christian was just like, I've never done this before, and the manicurist was saying how perfect his nails were, and Joan was just like really mused about it.
That's cool though. But yeah, they had to come back. CN Blue had to come back, and I think you know that I really liked CN Blue.
Hmm.
They're a three-member group now because of events that had happened in the last couple of years. So that was an interesting thing too, watching the music video
Yep.
and seeing they kept the other three members like the original lineup, but I was curious when they announced their comeback. I was like, how is this gonna work as a three-member band?
Did it sound like anything changed?
Yeah, his voice was missing. You could tell because he had such a distinct voice. I don't want to say his name because he used to be my bias and I'm very upset with him.
He doesn't deserve.
No,
Doesn't matter.
he his voice was missing though, and he had a very distinct voice, and so that was kind of prominent. But overall, the sound from them didn't really change. They went with like a slower song, which was kind of nice considering a couple of them I think just came back from the army. I think
Hmm.
Younghwa just recently came back from the army, so they went with kind of like a slower song for their title, but it sounded really nice. And then Yonghwa's vocals, I think, made up for the void that he had left. It
Hmm.
still sounded like CN Blue though. It was just really weird to listen and be like, because you could tell something was missing.
Hmm.
But otherwise, the sound was
Well, at
still
least it
good.
wasn't like, yeah, at least it wasn't
Yeah,
horrible,
no, it was one of those things.
where it was just so jarring that it was different.
Yeah, it wasn't different. It still sounded like CN Blue, so it still worked out. It was just one of those things where it was like you noticed that something was off.
Hmm.
And then on the topic of just second and third generation idols in general, Dujun came back from the military. Kikwang came back from the military. Minho is back from the military. Shiny is a complete quartet again.
It's so crazy how like all of these idols are coming back,
I know.
back to back
I
to
didn't
back.
even realize I didn't even realize it was that like time yet.
Hmm.
And I got like the news story that popped up and was like Minho's back, and I was like, oh, what? And then Minho straight from his release in his uniform went to one of Taemin's stages at a music show, and there were like behind the scene photo pictures and everything, and I was like, oh, they're all there to support him.
You know what I also saw?
What?
I think Daehyun is about to enlist from BOP.
Yeah, yeah. I think I saw the news for that too. He's about to enlist.
He posted his hair getting cut,
Oh,
and he doesn't.
Crush enlisted
He.
too.
I saw
I'm
that.
so mad. He kept talking about it, and I was like, "It's coming, it's coming, it's coming."
It doesn't matter
And
because
then, well,
you.
no, the thing with Crush is he kept talking about it, and I was like, and back in like January, February, I was like, "It's coming, it's coming, it's coming." And then Zico enlisted before him, and I was like, "I don't know what's going on, but okay." And so I just stopped thinking about it, and then all of a sudden, Crush enlisted, and I was like, "You know what? I'm so mad. You had me built up and thinking you were
Well,
leaving
you
like
know what?
half a year ago."
He definitely put out one last album before then, and it's a good album.
It is, yeah. If you guys haven't listened to it, I definitely recommend it.
If you like R&B, you're gonna like it, and if you are into selection radio, that's on SoundCloud, but they're also on every other platform. And you watch, what music video is that? He made a music video from that album, and Esta or somebody is on there. Someone I know is on there that's a part of Selection Radio. And I just thought that was really cool. I was like, oh my God, they're best friends. They know each other. It was really exciting. But if you're into R&B and you're into soul, you're gonna love that album. Oh, I do have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did it yet. Did you ever listen to DPR's
I
album?
did not know. I haven't had a chance
I'll
to.
forgive you.
It's okay. When I do listen, we will do another roundtable music review thing that we did because that'd be fun.
Because I'm pretty sure I put that on my, what did I put it on? Like our top favorite albums or something like that. I'm pretty sure I did.
I think you did. I believe you did. But yeah, I will listen, and then in the meantime, we will admire everybody from our generation of K-pop having comebacks or coming back from
Yeah,
the
that's
military.
really cool to see all those people coming back. But then also a lot of people are going.
Yeah, it's just that time. We're at that age. But it's been really cool too for some of them. Like, I know there's a lot of these idols coming back, but it's also been really awesome to see idols having comebacks now too. Like CNBLUE and BTOB, I that was completely unexpected. I feel like I got blindsided. Kwang's been back officially for, well, maybe not officially, but since the announcement, he's been back for like a day and he's already been on a show. I don't know if it's like an official show or if it's just like a YouTube series, but he was already an announcer or like a host for a show with one of
Hmm.
the members from the K-pop group Ace. And so I'm just like, dang, they're coming back and they're already getting back into it. Or like all the
Wow.
old groups are coming back and they just all decided like, hey, we're gonna have a throwback party or something. They just all decided let's all have a comeback together so we can all stand on stage and say hi to each other again.
The hustle never stops. That's what they said.
So it's been cool to see, and I'm curious too because listening to like B2B's comeback, for example,
Hmm.
it was a very B2B sound. Like they didn't even change.
Well,
It
that's
was just kind of,
nice.
I was listening to it and I was like, this is B2B, yeah. And so I'm kind of curious, along with like G Dragon influencing. I wonder how with these older groups coming back, if they start coming back, I wonder if it's gonna do anything to idols of younger generation.
Please just come out with something that's not EDM so everybody can be like, wow, I forgot there's
Besides
other
this.
things besides EDM. That's so amazing. And everybody just goes off and they do different stuff. That's all I ask. But is there anything else?
Um, I mean, there is one big news thing, but I feel like we should talk about it in another episode.
Is that big of a topic?
Beat or not beat, Big Hit is on the verge of becoming a monopoly.
Huh?
They acquired 50% of KOZ Entertainment,
Oh, wow.
and they've bought out like two other smaller companies, and I think a acting company.
Oh, they're trying to.
Yeah. Everybody's like, this is great, and I'm like, no, this is not great. And I kind of,
Why is it not great?
oh, that's why I think we should do another episode. Monopolies are bad for the economy, right?
No, I don't know anything.
It's not it's not great. Monopolies are really bad, especially for an entertainment industry, like the entertainment
Hmm.
industry. It's really gonna skew with like the sound and everything, and who has the availability to do what. And just monopolies in general are bad for the economy. So I'm kind of meh about it.
Mm.
And I'm also curious how this came about because he goes in the army and he's the CEO. So apparently there's another acting CEO right now. Did they just sell 50% of his company?
The tea is hot.
Was
I'm
this,
sure
and then
he
a lot of
knows.
K-pop fans don't know business, so they don't know because they were like, he had to have like signed and agreed for it, and I was like, no, he can't because he's in the military. He's not allowed to have another job while he's in the military serving. So he probably didn't sign anything at all. especially if there's another acting CEO in his place. And then a lot of people don't realize in business there are different types of takeovers. There are friendly takeovers, there are hostile takeovers, and so if the company is big enough, they can just flat out buy all the stocks and buy everything from the smaller company, and the smaller company has no choice but to go with it. And then there are like there's something like a reverse takeover, I think is what it's called, when a small business buys out or a small private business, or just a private business in general buys out a big business that's public. So reading through replies today on Twitter, I was like, I'm getting angry because it's clear that these people are like 15 and 16 years old and have not taken a business class.
Well, I have never taken a business class, so I don't know.
Oh, it was required at my high school.
Oh no.
I had to take it as a sophomore, and then I
Mm-hmm.
ended up taking a second year of it just because I liked the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I hated the class, but I liked the
Oh,
teacher.
well, that was not a requirement for us. In like, you would only learn about that if you're going to school for business.
Oh, interesting. But
Yeah.
that's why I think it should be a separate topic, because monopolies are not good for the economy, Lacey.
Well, I guess we're gonna learn about that in the next episode.
If you want your music to stay diverse and you want it to stop sounding like EDM, then we can't have a
Well,
monopoly,
the first thing I thought when if they're buying all that out, I'm like, they're just trying to be like every other company out here
which isn't good.
with so many different avenues, which is odd because why can't you just do that with your own?
Yeah.
Like, why can't you just expand under your own? Like, why do you have to? What's the purpose of buying
I
out?
think I think one of their main things is they're buying out companies like Pledis, for example, 17 newest. I
Mm,
think their main thing is they are just buying out companies that already have groups that are established with established fan bases.
for that money.
Yeah, for the money. But we can talk about that next time
Yeah.
if you want. If
Okay,
not, it's
that's
okay.
fine.
I'm sure it'll come up at some point though, because they, like I said, they bought out 2 companies, I believe, and then a acting company, or 3 companies now, and an acting company.
Well, you gotta text Zico and see like what he knows.
He's in the army.
He can answer
He's
your
not gonna
text. You don't know that.
reply.
You don't know that.
Oh. Well, if you guys had any opinions about this episode, what you think of Aespa, and then if there are any older fans listening, if you have any input on how you think these older generation K-pop groups coming back, how frequent it's going to be. Is it going to be like a thing now that all of them are coming back, or how you think they might influence the market and the sound of newer generation groups?
Yeah, or tell us like what group would you want to come back?
Yeah,
Any group.
Block B.
I would love BAP to come back. It's just not gonna happen. It is not gonna happen.
Actually, thinking of that just as a random, Jaehyo and one of the KQ entertainment artists, Maddox, I believe is his name,
Mm-hmm.
were hosting. Oh, I don't actually think it was Maddox. Never mind. I take that back. Jaehyo though was hosting something with a Red Velvet member, actually, I think, and I don't know what it was for. But there was a girl group there that's like newer, and the question was like, who do you guys want to collaborate with? And one of the girls in the group had said Block B, and Jaehyo was just like, that's not gonna happen. They're all in the army.
They're literally they're gone right now.
And I just thought it was so funny because it was such a Jaehyo thing to be like, sorry to burst your bubble, but not happening. Next question.
You know that's not happening, girl. Look at us.
It was interesting though to see a group that young though say Block B. So if there's any, like Lacey said, if there's anybody that is an older group that you're like, now that people are coming back, I want this group to come back.
I would love 2 p.m. to just like just one more hit. Just one more. It's never gonna happen.
Someday, hold out hope.
Please just give us one more. Just please. Thank you.
Okay, do you have anything else to add?
Thank you for listening and to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Bingu and Choom, if I can talk. And please leave us a review. We're trying to get there in our searches and trying to navigate that. But leave us a review. It would be really nice to know that someone's listening.
It would, yes. Thank you though for tuning into this episode. It was another just relaxed, fun episode. Um,
Yeah, we'll see you in the next
we'll see you.
episode.
Yeah. Next episode, whatever we decide it may be, where maybe I'll hold a business class, maybe I will not, but we will see you there.
The next episode is going to be a tech talk
It's going to be
of just right now. A TED talk. It's gonna be a TED
no,
talk.
we're not doing that.
It's the TED talk, guys. Bye.